Hello guys, welcome back to another video of mine. This video today is going to be a two-part discussion. First part of the video I'm going to be discussing the Bournemouth game at the weekend, and then the second part of the video I'm going to be discussing what's going wrong and what needs to be done to change this, rectify it, whatever word you want to use. Something needs to be done because there's a big problem at Chelsea at the minute, and I've picked out a few things that I feel are going wrong, and then we can have a little discussion about what can be done to rectify this. Now I'm just going casual today. This is just a dressing gown. I'm in the comfort of my own home. I'm not gonna wear anything specific. It's just a nice chilled out video. A little discussion video. There's a game on Sunday, so we have a few days before that. There will be a preview for that out in the next day or two. But this is just a nice, relaxed, chilled out video, just a general conversation, talking about what's happening with our club at the minute and, you know, trying to get to the root of the problem. So as I said, excuse me, the first part of the video was discussing the game against Bournemouth at the weekend, and part of me is kind of glad it's taken a few days since to do a review and talk about the game, because after the game I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the result, but then again I could have, because I could have predicted that would happen. It'd be just like us, but it was just a disgraceful performance. It was terrible. It was one of those games from the first. It's usually when you play games, you start off. Sometimes you can start off a bit slow and a bit poor. You can accept that, but you want to progress and get better as the game goes on. We just got worse as the game went on. We just looked completely inept. We were no ideas. We didn't know what we were doing. We looked absolutely clueless on the ball. Every time Bournemouth went forward, they looked like scoring. If Josh King knew how to finish, that game could have been 4 or 5-0. And if it wasn't for Rudiger and Zuma, it could have been 4 or 5-0. It was just horrendous. Every single player that played on Saturday was terrible. As I said, Rudiger and Zuma get a slight exemption, because if it wasn't for them, it could have been more than 1-0. Everyone else was just shocking. I mean, Emerson did he even play? Genuine question, did he even play? He might as well have played with 3 at the back. We might as well play with 10 men. Absolutely shocking. Kante was poor. I'm getting a bit worried about Kante. I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt when he came back for his injury, but it's been a good couple of weeks now. You think he would have got back up to speed now, but he's starting to show a little bit of decline, which I hope I'm wrong in saying, but he was poor, very poor at the weekend. Mason Mount again, I don't know what he has to do to get dropped. I don't want to rip into him and just pick out individuals, and he is still young. But if you're not playing well, you don't start. It's as simple as that. It's as if Frank has to play him just because of his name and his kind of, you know, his age and his kind of quality. That he does have quality, but he's just not playing well. He just looks like he's running around like a headless chicken. His kind of passing ability, his movement, his finishing has just all gone out the window the last couple of months. About the last month or so. I don't know why. The fact that he lasted 90 minutes was just, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Willian running into blind alleys, absolutely useless. Abraham was poor, offered nothing. Pulisic again looked void, just looked like a passenger, a bystander. Azpilicueta, I've said this in a few videos now, he's not fit to be a right back or a full back anymore. He hasn't got the legs. He cannot help whoever plays on the right. It's usually Willian. He cannot help them. He hasn't got the legs. He just looks completely done. Any left-sided midfielder playing against him will lick their lips or fancy their chances, because he's not quick enough. Who else? Hudson-Odoi came on, and oh my God, I've never seen anyone play. He couldn't have played any worse if he tried. Batshuayi, again, nothing. He's done nothing since he scored against Ajax. Just woeful, just terrible. So that the game was just terrible, and the goal that they scored was definitely a goal. VAR did the right thing. It was a clear goal. There's no issues about that. And Bournemouth deserved that win because they came here, they sat back, they soaked up pressure, and they hit us on the counter, which is we are the easiest team to play against, because all you have to do is get 2 banks of 4 and just say, right, we're going to play 2 banks of 4, try and get past us. And more often than not, we can't, because we don't have any creativity. We just, it's like watching Sarri ball again. It's like last season all over again these last few weeks. We don't know what we're doing. We have no idea. Once one team blocks our way of playing, we go, ah, shit, what do we do now? This is where, so I've kind of veered off topic a bit. I've kind of discussed kind of everything that's going wrong. So I'm just going to tie in the Bournemouth game. I kind of said everything I need to say about the Bournemouth game. It was terrible. We deserve to lose, and the players need to fucking get their act together. Simple as that. So now I'm going to move on to why we're struggling and why we're losing more often than not now. I've looked in the Premier League. We've lost 4 of our last 5 games. We lost to Man City, we lost against Bournemouth, we lost against West Ham, and we lost against Everton. All convincingly. Man City, you could say we were a bit unfortunate, but we still lost. Everton, we were beaten convincingly. Bournemouth, we were beaten convincingly. And West Ham, we were beaten convincingly. Scoreline, maybe not so, but the performance and the performance of the opposition, yes, we were. Just, there's a couple, as I said, I've picked out a couple of things that are going wrong, and I'm going to talk about them now. So the first thing that's an issue and is a factor in why we're struggling is we have no creativity in midfield. Nothing. It speaks volumes when we are relying on Mateo Kovacic to be our main source of creativity and goals from midfield, considering he hadn't scored a league goal up until the Everton game for 2.5 years, and didn't get a goal or an assist last season, or if he did, it was 1 or 2. He's not a creative midfielder. He's there to kind of keep the ball ticking and kind of help the back four and provide a bit of muscle and strength. He's not a creative player, and fair play to him, he's really stepping up well. He's been our best player this season for me. But it speaks volumes when we're relying on him to create chances and be that creative player in midfield when that's not his position. Mason Mount should be doing it. Jorginho, okay, I give him a bit of leeway because he's kind of protecting the back four and he's the link between our defence and midfield. But we have nobody. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is still injured, so we can't use him. And Frank Lampard doesn't seem to want to. What I would suggest is you either move Willian or Pulisic into that kind of midfield role, in behind the striker, and play Hudson-Odoi on the left, or just something like that. Change it up a little bit. You're never going to know if you don't try. Just, again, going back to the creativity thing, it's completely non-existent in the midfield. So we're always resorting to getting the ball out wide and just keep it going back and forth between fullback, centre-back, centre-back, fullback, fullback, centre-back. Get it out wide and just try and whip crosses in. And every team that we come up against, especially at home, are just going to go, you do that. You whip balls into the box all day long, and our 2 centre-halves, it'll be heading practice. Once that's shut out, we have no idea. We're void. We were completely clueless. This is where my point comes in. Bring either Pulisic or Willian into the midfield, in behind the striker, and play Hudson-Odoi on the wing, or just something like that. Try and change it up. It feels like I'm watching Sarri ball again. Once one idea is cut out, once it's one way of playing, and when that's out the window, we're screwed. I hope Frank can. I give him the benefit of the doubt. He's young and he's still learning as a manager, so I give him time, a lot of time. But that's something he needs to learn. Second problem we have is that the players don't look motivated on the pitch. I've noticed the last couple of weeks, ever since the Man City game really, the players look shattered. I'm going to tie tiredness in with this motivation thing. The players look absolutely drained, and that's a problem. That's a real worry, because we're in mid-December and they're tired. We haven't even got into the Christmas fixtures yet. They're playing on Stephen's Day and, a couple of days later, and then again on New Year's Day. That's a real worry. And what makes it even more worrying is that this is a group of young players, all in their early 20s, late teens, bar a few. And the fact that they're tired already is a real issue, and I don't know why they're tired. We're not in the League Cup. Yes, we're in the Champions League, but that's only every couple of weeks. We're playing Premier League fixtures. The FA Cup hasn't come around yet. So I don't know how they're tired. I actually don't know how they're tired. I actually cannot give a valid reason or a good reason as to why they're so tired so early on in the season. If it's around February, March time, and I'm saying this, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I can understand that. We had the busy Christmas schedule. We had the Champions League knockout stages. I could understand that, but we're in mid-December. That's a real issue, and I'd say that ties in with motivation because the players look so tired. They've no energy, and they don't seem to want to be motivated. But also, Frank Lampard doesn't seem to be motivating them anyway. Frank Lampard's in-game management, even throughout the whole season, even when we were winning games, although it doesn't need to be done as much if you're winning games, but his in-game management and his demeanour on the touchline is very negative. And I did not expect that because he was in a group of players that would give everything, that would leave blood, sweat and tears on the pitch and be vocal and want to win at all costs. And I thought that he would bring that into his management, but he isn't doing that lately. And that's a real worry. He kind of just... I don't know if you noticed, but every time on the touchline, when he's either sitting down or standing up, he just sits there like this. Just looking around. It's like the way we all are in the stands or at home watching it, just expecting something to happen. You're the manager, Frank. You need to be vocal. You need to tell them what to do. They're young players. They're not going to remember everything or just be on it like that for 90 minutes. They need reassurance. They need you to talk to them and motivate them and tell them what to do all the time because they're not going to remember. He needs to get that side of his management in quickly because we're going to struggle if not, because these players, we've seen already this season that they can be... Motivation is obviously an issue, certainly now. So that really, really needs to come in. So Frank Lampard's in-game management needs to improve drastically. Some of the substitutions he makes as well are completely mind-boggling. The one against Bournemouth on Saturday that really, really left me and probably most Chelsea fans scratching their heads was bringing off Jorginho for Batshuayi. That was an absolute hospital substitution, killing us. You might as well have just said to Bournemouth, there you go, as soon as you defend our attack, there's the freedom of Stamford Bridge to counter. Because Jorginho, I mentioned earlier on in the video, he's the only link, or the main link, between our defence and our midfield. Once you take him out of the game, you're literally leaving our back four exposed to the Bournemouth onslaught of the counter-attack. And what happened? They scored from a counter-attack. Batshuayi came on and offered nothing. What he should have done is brought Batshuayi on for Tammy Abraham, just make a straight swap, or take off whoever wasn't playing well, for example Mason Mount, and put two up front. Leave Jorginho there. One, he's one of the only players in midfield that can pick a pass, and two, as I just mentioned, he's the only link between our defence and midfield. You take him out of there, we're exposed. That's another issue that Frank needs to get. His substitutions, and not only his substitutions, the timing of his substitutions need to change big time. He needs to know when to make a substitution, what substitution to make, and he needs to know, as I said, he needs to know when to make the substitution and what substitution to make, because they have been really off-key for nearly all the season. There's a lot going on at the club at the minute. I remember I said earlier on, a couple of videos ago, when we were winning, that if our transfer ban didn't get uplifted and if it stayed, I wouldn't be too disappointed because I was happy enough with the team that we had. Boy, am I glad I was wrong. I'm so happy that transfer window or our ban has been uplifted and we can buy players in January because we really, really need to strengthen the squad. Big time if we want to compete this season. Talking about competing, we're still, as I mentioned, we still have the Champions League. The last 16 draw was made on Monday, and we got Bayern Munich. I knew we'd get one of those teams. I was sitting on the couch just behind me watching the telly. Our name got pulled out first because obviously we were in pot 2 because we were one of the runners up, and I was really, really hoping that I don't know who it was, would pull out Leipzig. They didn't. They pulled out Bayern Munich, and of course Spurs got Leipzig. The lucky bastards. But yeah, no, that's going to be a really, really difficult game. Let's be honest, guys. It's a bit of a free hit for us. No one's expecting us to win that game. If we do, I'll be amazed and I'll be ecstatic. But it's a free hit for us. That Bayern team, yes, people say they're struggling in the Bundesliga. They're 4th or 5th in their league. But so are we. The only positive thing I can say is that it's in February, so it's a good 2 months away, and we'll hopefully have strengthened the squad by then in the right position, so we might be able to compete a bit more than we would be now. We're just gonna have to wait and see, guys. It's not the ideal draw, and if I'm being honest, I'm not expecting us to go through. I mentioned it's a free hit for us. We go out, nothing to lose, just try and go for it. Sometimes that can work in teams' favour. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, I think I've gone on for long enough. I've got across most of the points I wanted to say. Lampard's in-game management needs to improve. He needs to start motivating these players, because that's a real issue. Tiredness is a big issue, which is a real worry. And we have no creativity in midfield. That's the main problems that lie with us, I feel, and they need to be changed, or Frank needs to implement these kind of styles into his management if we want to compete this season. That's all I have to say. If you guys did enjoy the video, please drop it a like, subscribe if you are new around here or you enjoy the content. And we're playing Spurs on Sunday, so I'll have the preview for that game out. I might try and get it out tomorrow. If not, I'll get it out, Friday. I'll get the video out on Friday, and we'll see what happens then. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon.